115. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Walillahil mashriqu wal maghrib fa aynama tuwallu fatamanna wajhullah innallaha wasi'un alim. And to Allah belongs the mashriq and the maghrib. So here you can see the word maghrib. Traditional translation for mashriq and maghrib is east and west. The traditional translation. The east, the mashriq, and the west is maghrib. However, when we look at the Quranic words, the principle is there is a verb embedded in the word, in the noun. There is a verb in the noun. And the verb, which is always a three-letter, most of the time a three-letter words. So we want to see actually what is the verb inside the word mashriq and maghrib. So the verb is, for example, the mashriq traditionally is east. So when you look at the east, it is actually the rising of the sun. The sun rises from the east and set at the west. So when the sun rises, what happens is the situation is from darkness to illumination. Illuminating the situation from darkness. So there is a move from darkness to brightness. Whereas the west, it is the opposite. That is from brightness to darkness. So that is the movement. The movement is the verb. So when we look at the verse 115, so Allah belongs to both, from darkness to the daylight, to the brightness, and the brightness to the darkness. So we say from darkness and from brightness. Wherever you turn, that means whether you turn in the darkness or you turn in the brightness, there is the face of Allah. So what actually it means, the face of Allah, what actually it means, they are symbols. And from the symbols, thing embedded behind the symbol, everything is Allah. So in other words, when we look at Allah, we don't say that Allah only exists in the darkness or in the brightness. He existed in both. The same thing, there is a verse in Surah Al Baqarah. Allah said He existed in the batin and the zahir. Batin and zahir. And the same thing, there is a verse that say that He is one and He is many. Wahid is one, Ahad is anyone, is many. So that means it is their existence is complete, is full. It is because He is irreducible. Allah is irreducible. Allah is indivisible. You cannot divide Allah. You cannot reduce Allah. If you say Allah is one, then you are reducing Allah to one. What about to the many? Same thing when we say Allah is ghaib. What about in the apparent? For Him to say that He is single, His singularity encompass all. When you say encompass all, that means the zahir, the batin, the many, the one, so everything. So the same thing here, when He say darkness is also brightness, just to show His completeness. So wherever you turn, there is the face of Allah. Indeed, Allah is all-encompassing and knowing. Islam is supposed to be monotheistic. So monotheistic, then He must encompass both both as all existence. It cannot be over there in the existence. What about over here in the existence? And then 116. وَقَالُوا اتَّخَذَ اللَّهُ وَلَدًا سُبْحَانَهُ بَل لَّهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ كُلٌّ لَّهُ قَانِتُونَ. And they say, Allah has taken waladan. Waladan ni traditionally people translate as children. Allah has taken children. But what actually waladan means something that is given birth to. Given birth to, not necessarily human being. It can be ideas. You give birth to an idea. It's also a waladan. You can give a project ataupun a thought from your own thinking. It's also a waladan. It is not only focused to human being. But traditionally, people translate as waladan as human being. Because today in the modern standard Arabic, we call it MSA. So in modern standard Arabic, if you look at the dictionary, waladan is children. It's defined as children. But from Quranic aspect, we look at the classical dictionary. So the classical dictionary say waladan is something that you give birth or something you breed, produce. Quran here is talking about knowledge and the state of mind. Knowledge and the state of mind. So when we say Allah has taken waladan, Allah said, do not say that. And they say Allah has taken waladan. Something begotten, something give birth, which is the separate self. Our separate self is not created by God, but it's actually our own creation, our own mind creation. So here, waladan, we are talking about giving birth to our separate self. So giving birth to our personality, giving birth to our ego, self-interest. So this is the one that we say Allah created. So Allah said, no, you don't say Allah created. Exalted is He, praise. Subhanallah. Exalted is He. Yes, for Him, whatever in the higher consciousness and the lower consciousness, we are devoutly obedient to Him. So, He is the originator. So, in the Quran, there are two words we have to understand. Number one, there is a word Fatara, which is Fatir, Surah Al Fatir, Fatara. The other one is Khalaqa. So the word Khalaqa has always been translated as create. Allah created the Khalaqa sama, the skies and the earth. That's how people translate it. Allah created the sky and the earth. The word Khalaqa actually comes from the root word akhlaq. So the root word akhlaq is actually transformation, transforming yourself untuk menjadi lebih berakhlak. So when we say Allah khalaqas sama, that means Allah evolve you, evolve your higher consciousness, evolve your lower consciousness, evolve your mind, evolve your soul. So actually the word khalaqa is evolve. When we say Allah has taken waladan, Allah actually do not want you to say that. Subhanallah, Maha Suci Allah, exalted is He. Maknanya, no, you don't say Allah created waladan. 117. Badi'us samawati wal ard wa iza qada amran fa innama yaqulu lahu kun fayakun. So this is the word badi'u. So I also use the word originator. Is actually initiator of the higher consciousness and lower consciousness. When he decrees a matter, he only says to it kun, and it is fayakun. It's only kun, it's not kun fayakun. Only kun. Fayakun tu is yang terjadi lah. If you want to talk about the consciousness, it is separated. Higher consciousness and the lower consciousness. In a way, it is separated. But actually, that separation is illusion. It's an illusion. It is set that way, higher consciousness and the lower consciousness, so that we can better understand the situation. So when we say lower consciousness, let me give you an example. Let's look at the dream state. The dream state. When you are dreaming, so there is a dream world. There is a dreamer. Okay, the dreamer normally is not inside the dream world. It is the dreamer actually create another self in the dreamer world. The dreamer not inside there. There's another character of the dreamer inside the dream world. So this character of the dreamer inside the dream world. So the character in the dream world, to him, he can see the world, the dream world. Can see maybe the mountain, can see the trees, can see the world. He can see actually physical world. If there's a dog chasing after him, he can see the dog chasing after him. It is actually a world inside there. The world inside the dream world is actually the activity of dreamer's mind. The activity of the dreamer's mind create the world inside the dream. Is the activity of the dreamer's mind. It is not the dreamer inside there, but it's the activity of the dreamer's mind inside the dream. So the activity of the dreamer's mind inside the dream is lower consciousness. So the activity of the mind is lower consciousness. So another example is when you are driving, you are on autopilot, activity of the mind take over, that is a lower consciousness. But when you receive revelation, not through the mind, it doesn't go through the mind. The mind actually become a receiving faculty. It is not processing. It only process after they receive it. Kalau the autopilot situation, the mind actually process. It process from whatever data inside the memory. But if you receive revelation, the revelation comes to you, and then you register it inside the mind, then only they process into understanding, for understanding. So the processing for understanding actually based on pure mind. Okay, the mind is pure. It is not influenced by ego or self-interest. Because revelation only comes if your heart is pure, if your mind is pure. That's why bila the mind process the revelation, bukannya they process to create revelation, tapi they process what they receive, the revelation, the process is always pure. So that is higher consciousness. But actually, in essence, there is only one consciousness. That's why there is another verse in Surah An-Nisa, verse number 1. Allah said, everything is single. From the singularity, they break up into higher and lower, into the samawat and al-ard. So now we go to 118. وقال الذين لا يعلمون لولا يكلمنا الله أو تأتينا آية كذلك قال الذين من قبلهم مثل قولهم تشابهت قلوبهم قد بينا الآيات لقوم يوقنون. And those who have no knowledge say, why does not Allah speak to us, or a sign come to us? Even thus said those before them, the like of what they say, their hearts are all alike. Indeed, we have made the signs clear for a qawm who are yaqeen. So if you don't have the knowledge, then you will ask God, you will ask Allah, why Allah does not give a sign. Why Allah does not give a sign to us? So the same thing, it is also from before. Those people from before also say the same thing. Their hearts are all alike. But Allah said, indeed, we have made the signs clear. The signs are clear for a qawm. A qawm here is translated as group of thoughts. Normally people translate qawm as group of people, group of the own people. But we are now, because we are looking at our own self, so the qawm here refer to the group of thought. If you notice that thoughts here is actually function, the function is more of knowing, more of knowledge. Knowledge too is basically knowing. So because the processing is based on the mind, the understanding of the knowledge is influenced by the condition of the mind. And what kind of condition your mind has. If your mind is conditioned with humanity, with very strong value in humanity, the mind will give out thoughts that will always try to help people, try to help neighbors, try to help those people in difficulties and the society. But if your mind is conditioned heavily with your self-interest, then you don't bother about other people's interests, whatever the thoughts come out from your mind. So it depends on the condition of the mind. Allah said, He has given the sign. The signs are given. The only problem is you don't see. I give you another analogy. For example, if you look up at the sky, we can see two colors. One is the gray color formed by the clouds, and the other one is the blue color formed by the sky. If you do not analyze the situation, you look up at the sky, then you see the sky is made up of two colors, the gray and the blue. However, if you study or you explore the situation, then you realize that the whole sky is actually blue, and it's only the gray clouds, the patches of gray cloud that cover the blue sky. So what we're saying is, the signs are there, the blue color are there. So your job is to remove the gray color, to remove the clouds, so that you will see all the sky actually is blue. So that's why Allah said, He already made the signs clear. But your conditioned mind has hindered your vision, and you cannot see the blue sky. So those who are yaqeen, the group of thoughts yang yaqeen, they will be able to see. 119. Inna arsalnaka bil haqq bashiran wa nazira wa la tus'alu an ashabil jahim. Surely we have sent you with the truth, a good news and a warner, and you shall not be asked for the companions of the flaming fire. So this is referring to the yaqeen. So the yaqeen, to them, Allah has sent the truth. So the truth are made up of two aspects of knowledge. One is the good news, and the other one is a warner. Good news and a warner. But they are all the truth. You shall not be asked for the companions of the flaming fire. So that means you will not go through hell if you are yaqeen. You are yaqeen with the truth. 120. وَلَنْ تَرْضَى عَنْكَ الْيَهُودُ وَلَنْ نَصَارَى حَتَّى تَتَّبِعَ مِلَّتَهُمْ قُلْ إِنَّ هُدَى اللَّهِ هُوَ الْهُدَى وَلَئِنِ اتَّبَعْتَ أَهْوَاءَهُمْ بَعْدَ الَّذِي جَاءَكَ مِنَ الْعِلْمِ مَا لَكَ مِنَ اللَّهِ مِنْ وَلِيٍّ وَلَا نَصِيرٍ. And the Yahud, the lenient, will not be pleased with you. So that means those people today on the ground, you can see those people who are lenient. They don't want to see you also to go deep into the study. A lot of discouragement now. If you talk to people trying to talk about the Quran, the detail or the depth of the Quran, a lot of people will discourage you from going through your discourse. Some of the reason is you may be sesat lah. You may not be successful. This is you have to have a guru lah. So the Yahud, these are the people yang we call Yahud lah, the lenient. So they will not be pleased with you. They will try to discourage you. The same thing with Nasara, the helpers. So they also will not be pleased with you until you follow their milad. You follow their milad. Milad here means, actually in the traditional translation, milad is translated as religion. If you look at the Quran, people translate the word milad as religion. And then also the word din also as religion. Another better translation, a bit better, is the word din is way of life. And the word milad is religion. This Yahud and Nasara, they are not pleased with you because when they see you trying to go detail, trying to go so deep in the Quran, so they will not be pleased with you. They try to discourage you. They will try to bring you back to their milad. So the word milad here is more of what binds you. The word binding, you are bounded to something. For example, you are bounded to certain set of belief, right? Certain set of mantras, certain set of way of life, certain set of even appearance, certain set of behavior, certain set of culture. So these are milad. So whatever that bind you, if you are bounded racing car racing, if you are bounded into that, then your milad is racing lah, car racing. So everything about car racing, dia punya car ke, model dia ke, engine dia ke, minyak dia ke, tire lah, everything about it You are into it. So the word milad is actually what binds you. What binds you. So they want you, the Nasara and the Yahud, want you to go to become or to bind yourself back to what they are bounded to. And follow. That's what happened today. If you notice, the people, when they say they do not agree with you, actually they want you to follow their belief. Actually, they want you to follow their milad. So they don't want you to be different. So the Nasara and the Yahud, it's like that. Surely Allah's guidance is the true guidance. And if you follow their desires, after the knowledge has come to you, you shall have no guardian from Allah, no any helpers. Normally, when you come to this stage, you have to make a decision. What you're going to do, because now 90% of the people around you may not agree with you, and they want you to go back to their way of thinking, their way of belief. So Allah said, if you already know the truth, then you go back to their desire, whatever they desire. Then Allah said, you will not have any guardian, any protector, no guardian from Allah, no helper. 1-1. الذين آتيناهم الكتاب يتلونه حق تلاوته. So this is the word tilawah lah. Tilawati. أولئك يؤمنون به ومن يكفر به فأولئك هم الخاسرون. Those to whom we have given Al-Kitab, the script, follow it as a fact, reality, duty, right to follow it. They are the ones who feel secure or safe with it. And whoever ignores with it, it is they who are the losers. So now in this, these are the call to the mu'min. Because the mu'min are those people who are given the Al-Kitab. So when they are given the Al-Kitab, they have faith, they trust, and they take security on the Al-Kitab. Allah said, if you are given the Al-Kitab, you have to follow it as a fact, as a reality, not as a intellectual knowledge, not as an academic knowledge. You have to actually take security on it. And whoever ignores with it, they are the losers. So this one sampai 141, dia punya call to those people. Oh, so this is the last one. The next one is 122 to 141 on the children of Israel. The children of Israel memang are those people, among those people yang given Alkitab lah. So I think we should stop here. So this is considered a new topic here, a new subtopic. Before this, we're talking about call to mu'min. Now we are talking about call to Bani Israel. Kita sudahi dengan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.